as an academic when she's refusing to recognise the legitimacy of Ministry of Justice data. This is the actual government department that does record the nationality of those people recorded for sexual crimes and violent crimes. And when you then cross-tabulate this information with ONS data on the population size of these people, you realise that they are vastly overrepresented. And I think, unfortunately, there is too many people in the left-wing commentariat refusing to recognise the very real link between migration as a whole, but in particular the small boats crisis, and a huge uptick in the threats being posed to women and girls in this country. I really don't understand why people would try and dispute this. This is surely something that we should be recognising and then looking to adjust from accordingly. I think it's actually a really unnerving state of affairs where we have so many people on the left wing of politics refusing to recognise facts and instead trying to pour cold water on hard Ministry of Justice statistics to suit their own political ideology. OK, Fahima.
I have no political ideology. And like I said, I am an academic. I actually work within the Ministry of Justice, and I understand how statistics can be manipulated, and they usually are. And at the same time, it's not really giving the complete picture. I absolutely do feel that it's horrific that anyone from any kind of background has any sort of criminal activity, or even alleged, or even basically, criminalized for it. But at the same time, I think the way in which it's been actually contextualized here, like as if to say every one of them are coming in that way. And the fact that they are actually being sort of vetted, and they are actually high proportion are actually given that legal status, shows that there are not just economic motives that are coming. They are just not sort of like.
I don't know how we're vetting them when most of them are throwing their passports over the side of the dinghy. That's a ridiculous claim, which I really don't know, if you're an academic, how you're basing that in reality. We know for a fact that most of these individuals, ideally to bolster their own asylum claim, are throwing these documents overboard. We know absolutely nothing about these individuals. I think, again, this comes back to, let's talk about facts here, because we have a real crisis on our hands, and it doesn't help. They're not being vetted. And here's an interesting fact for you. Of the asylum applications that are actually being processed by the Home Office, and the Home Office itself admits this, 50% of them are not being done to a satisfactory level. And that's because we don't have the staffing resources in the Home Office. We don't have the time resources. We have people effectively being waved through. Let Fahima talk.
Otherwise, they wouldn't let them in, and they wouldn't let them through. You are just assuming, just because they're not satisfied, that they are criminals. And you are just assuming that they are...
Well, they are criminals. They've broken into our country, so they are criminals. So they're criminals on that basis because they've come into our country illegally. And then when you look at, again, the Ministry of Justice's own data on this, they are more likely, they're coming from nationalities that are more likely to be committing some of the most heinous crimes that are possible. But they're more likely. So if there's a higher risk of an individual committing a crime, why let them in? Why accept their application? This is an incredibly ridiculous conversation that we're having here.